Ray was a cartoonist, an illustrator, an artist, a writer, and I suppose an overall genius, really. Back in the 60s, he was producing for people like NME, Punch, Private Eye. Ray was probably known to people from the Clash album, the London Calling album. That's, I think, where most people would know Ray best. His love of rock and roll, love of music came from the rock and roll days, very, very much. And Elvis, Gene Vincent, Eddie Cochran, he absolutely adored rock and roll. Always wore his leather jacket, never a teddy boy, very much, cowboy boots. And that's where him and Joe Strummer really hit, because both of them were big Elvis fans, and that's where the London Calling came from, because he carried that album, around all the time, so very much influenced by that. That out of focus, and Paul Simon, and I think that it's the whole movement, and I think people really see, what was happening on stage, that lighting, and I think people really relate very much to that. This set is really important because Ray went to see the Clash on tour in Manchester at the Electric Circus, and he made friends with Johnny Green, who was a tour manager, and was invited to be the war artist on tour, on the 1979 tour in America. And these are the original works that came from that tour. See, we ain't got no swing. I think it was the first time that Ray had felt that rock and roll buzz, and the energy that the Clash provided on stage was leaning back to those days of rock and roll and kind of hysteria, really, that the Clash created. And I think it shows very much in the vibrancy and the colours that he used in his pictures. To the imitation zone. He did massive amount of oils for around Cadishead, Manchester, and the local area, really. He wasn't quite sure, I suppose, whether he was an artist. He never trained as an artist, and he kind of tested out that time of looking at what was out of his bedroom window and painting the landscape. He always planned this exhibition at Salford, and in actual fact spoke to Sarah Hughes from the gallery the day before he died. We followed really what he wanted, the bits that he wanted to be in it has been what he's planned, really. And always, because Salford was where he was born, Cadishead, was where he was going to start his exhibitions, really. So this is the start of lots of things to come, really. This set is significant because it was one of the last things that Ray did. I think he perhaps knew that his death was coming, and quite sad pieces in some ways, but very expressive emotionally. It's a very poignant exhibition, and it crosses over really art, music, cartoons, and I think if you don't really understand art, I think you'll get something from the whole range of things here. I think there's very few artists who manage to cover that, and so I think there's something for everyone, probably.